They are places cloaked in shadows, where history bleeds into horror, and whispers echo through walls long forgotten. The dead do not rest, and some locations seem cursed to remember every scream, every tear, and every soul that never left. Tonight, we open the door to the world's darkest corners. Welcome to Dark Corridor. Aokigahara Forest, Japan. Known as the Suicide Forest, Aokigahara has been a place where hundreds of people have taken their own lives, often drawn by the forest's oppressive quiet and eerie atmosphere. In the shadow of Mount Fuji lies the forest where silence is not peaceful. It's heavy. Aokigahara, known as the Suicide Forest, draws the lost and broken like a siren's song. Beneath its tangled canopy, compasses fail, sound dies, and the air thickens with sorrow. Locals whisper of yurei, vengeful spirits, who wander the mossy paths. Visitors have reported cries with no source, shadowy figures lurking just beyond view, and an overwhelming sense of dread and disorientation, often losing their sense of direction and hearing voices that seem to call them deeper into the trees. It's not just the dead that haunt Aokigahara, it's despair itself. Château de Brissac, France. Built in the 11th century, this French castle is haunted by the tragic ghost of Charlotte de Brissac, who was murdered by her husband after he discovered her infidelity. Standing regal in the Loire Valley, the Château de Brissac hides a grotesque tragedy. Charlotte, murdered by her husband in a fit of rage, remains a mournful presence. Known as the Green Lady, her ghost drifts through candlelit halls, her spectral figure sobbing in silence. Guests report sudden chills and weeping from empty rooms. Near the tower where she died, visitors feel her sorrow and her watchful eyes. Island of the Dolls, Mexico. This unnerving island, located just outside Mexico City, became infamous for the dolls that were hung from trees. Legend says that the dolls were placed by Don Julian Santana, who believed the spirits of children needed to be appeased after the death of a girl on the island. Xochimilco's murky waters hide a nightmare suspended in the trees. The island of the dolls is draped with decaying toys, eyes cracked, limbs twisted, placed by a man obsessed with appeasing spirits. They say the dolls move, that their heads turn, that laughter echoes when no children are near. Travelers speak of whispers from the willows and unseen gazes that follow every step. The dolls aren't decorations, they're guardians, or perhaps prisoners. Bell Witch Cave, Adams, Tennessee, USA. Beneath the ground in Adams, Tennessee, lies a limestone cave, damp, cramped, alive with legends. It's said to be the last known haunt of one of America's most malevolent spirits, the Bell Witch. The legend began in the early 1800s. The Bell family was tormented by a violent entity, one that spoke in tongues, slapped children, and even claimed a man's life. But even after the Bell farmhouse was torn down, the haunting never ended, because she moved underground. Inside the Bell Witch Cave, people claim to hear laughter echoing through the rock, feel their clothes tugged by invisible hands. One man swears something bit him in the dark. Another ran out screaming. Locals say if you mock the witch, she follows you home. Dare to step into her den, and you may find she's been waiting. Whaley House, San Diego, USA. Built in 1857, the Whaley House is considered one of the most haunted homes in the United States. The house was once the site of multiple tragic events, including a public hanging. Beneath the surface of this elegant 19th century San Diego home, something stirs. Built on the site of public executions, the Whaley House became a vessel for sorrow. The Whaley family's spirits linger, alongside the infamous Yankee Jim, whose death screams still echo in the parlor. Footsteps creak upstairs. Piano keys strike unbidden. And in the mirrors, faces sometimes appear that no one living owns. Several people have claimed to see shadowy figures and feel a sudden coldness in certain rooms, particularly in the parlor and staircase. Bhangarh Fort, India. Bhangarh Fort, built in the 16th century, is one of India's most haunted sites. According to legend, a wizard fell in love with the beautiful princess of Bhangarh, but when his love was rejected, he cursed the fort, resulting in its eventual ruin. The ruins of Bhangarh are not just ancient, they're forbidden. Legend tells of a sorcerer who cursed the entire kingdom after his love was spurned by the princess. Now, no one stays past sunset. Whispers ride the wind and shadows prowl the palace walls. Some say they've seen her, the doomed princess, watching from high balconies. The fort's silence is not peaceful. It's a warning. The Devil's Pool, Livingstone, Zambia. Deep in Livingstone, Zambia, lies one of the most beautiful and terrifying places on Earth. The Devil's Pool, located near the edge of the world-famous Victoria Falls. Though the falls themselves are a natural wonder, the pool at the edge is anything but serene. The name alone gives you an idea of its sinister nature. The Devil's Pool is a perilous spot where water seems to defy gravity, drawing visitors closer to the cliff's edge. Some have even been known to swim in the shallow waters, seemingly oblivious to the sheer drop just inches away. But beneath the beauty lies a dark history. Legends tell of the spirits of those who have fallen to their deaths in the pool or drowned in the mighty river, their souls still trapped, unable to escape. Some locals believe that the pool is cursed, a gateway to the underworld where spirits roam, waiting to claim the next victim. Tower of London, England. The tower has watched centuries of blood spill upon its stones. Once a royal palace, then a prison and execution site, its walls have heard the final cries of queens and traitors. Built in 1078, the Tower of London has served as a royal residence, prison, and execution site. It is infamous for the execution of Anne Boleyn and many other notable figures. Anne Boleyn's headless spirit walks near the chapel where she was buried. Unseen hands grip visitors, voices murmur in ancient dialects, and shadows dance where no torches burn. In the tower, history is alive, and it is angry. Ancient Ram Inn, England. The ancient Ram Inn, dating back to the 12th century, was originally a place of pagan worship and later became an inn. Its history includes reports of child sacrifice and witchcraft. The ground beneath the ancient Ram Inn is cursed. Pagan rituals, rumored child sacrifices, and centuries of darkness have seeped into its wood and stone. Guests report being thrown from their beds, seeing demonic shapes, and feeling crushed by an invisible weight. Its most notorious spirit, a sacrificial priest, watches silently from shadowed corners, daring anyone to stay through the night. Few do. The Kiamichi Mountains, Oklahoma, USA. Deep within the Kiamichi Mountains of southeastern Oklahoma, far from the reach of tourists or casual explorers, lies a place steeped in ghostly legends and eerie encounters. These rugged, remote mountains have long been the subject of strange happenings, and locals speak of an unsettling presence that lurks in the shadows of the dense forest. The legend of the Kiamichi Shadow People haunts these hills, a mysterious and malevolent force that many believe has been around for centuries. Reports from locals, hunters, and even travelers passing through the mountains describe shadowy figures darting between trees or standing motionless at the edge of their vision. They are often seen just out of the corner of the eye, vanishing before one can get a clear look. Those who have come into close contact with these figures describe an overwhelming sense of dread, as though the very air turns cold and thick with a dark, oppressive energy. But it's not just the shadows that haunt this place. For years, there have been whispered stories of people who entered the Kiamichi Mountains only to disappear without a trace, with no explanation as to where they went. These places remind us that the past is never truly buried, that grief, rage, and terror can linger long after the final breath. Would you dare visit any of these haunted sites? Or have you already been somewhere the darkness still clings? Tell us your story in the comments below. And if you crave more chilling tales from the darkest corridors of our world, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Until next time, keep the lights on. You never know what watches from the shadows.